Kirk, the last 2 weeks for you, game-winning drive, and come back with a pick six. What do you learn from that mountain to the valley? What do you take out of that experience?
Well, I think what I take from the experience is that this is a league that's going to test you. This is a league that is you got to bring it every week. It's a short memory. They don't, you're only as good as your last game, and you got to be consistent week in and week out. And you can never get too high and you can never get too low. Try not to ride that emotional roller coaster. So we'll just keep going, stay consistent, and try to learn from what didn't go well on Sunday and try to not have it repeat itself.
You said try not to get on that emotional roller coaster. How difficult is that for a guy relatively young in the league?
Yeah. I don't know if it matters if you're young or old. I just think it's human nature to have emotion take over and be a part of the way you process things, and you have to be able to detach that a little bit and just learn from things, focus on the process, and get back to work. And if you're going to provide emotion, provide positive emotion, energy, and juice, when you come back to work. So, again, this isn't my first time going through a challenge or an adversity or a big game or whatever. So you just go back to what you've always done and trust that it'll handle itself.
Kirk, where does Darrelle Revis rank on your list of cornerbacks that you faced, and how careful do you have to be with a player that has that kind of talent and range?
Yeah, my only experience with him personally is in training camp last season when he was with the Patriots. Haven't played him since I've been in the league in an actual game, but I would think he ranks right up there with anybody, if not the best. Will be a great challenge for us, and he's certainly earned the respect that we give him.
Kirk, because they're an aggressive blitzing defense, and even more so than they were maybe under Rex with Todd Bowles, how hard will it be to, stay patient and maybe stay with your reads just a little tick longer, knowing that the heat's coming at you?
Yeah, I think you just got to stick to your rules, and you got to play by your rules and trust your rules and not deviate from what you're being coached to do and what your rules tell you to do. The blitz can create a lot of big plays, and you got to avoid the negative plays, the sacks, the fumbles, the turnovers, those kinds of things. And when you do that, you give yourself a chance and you stay in it. And, again, I think it's more on the receivers to make the plays. I think it's my job to get them the football. So I'll try to be a distributor and get them the ball, and then once the ball's in their hands, it's on them to turn it into big plays, explosive plays.
Kirk, you guys took a deep shot to Rashard Ross, and you had the pass interference there. Is that something that you would like to see happen more often as far as taking deep shots down the field?
Yeah, I think you have to have a good understanding of when to take them. You want to be calculated when you do it and, scheme it properly. And I think Jay would tell you that he'd like to take more shots too. And the opportunities will come, and that's not something that I am too concerned about. I think that's on week to week, the game plan, the personnel, the scheme, the coach's decisions and the timing of it. But I think those shots will come, and when they do come, the key is for me to make sure we hit them, make sure the ball's thrown accurately on time, and give a guy a chance to make a play.
Were those opportunities limited with DeSean Jackson out, and how much would his presence help in that with obviously his speed?
Yeah, DeSean certainly provides an element downfield that is unique, and it's a strength of his to go down the field and track the football. So having him back will make a difference. And, the key will be just giving him a chance and letting him go make plays, putting the ball in his hands, and then from there it's on him to do some special stuff, which he's proven he can do.
Brandon Sheriff and Morgan Moses there on your right side. They're both going through their first NFL seasons of starters. What have you learned about them, and what's it been like working with them this year?
I really can't say enough good things about the two of them. I feel like overall our offensive line have done a really good job, but Morgan and Brandon especially, being such young players, just the pass protection, the run game, the mental side of the game, the work ethic, the approach day in and day out. Just guys who bring a positive attitude to work. There's a humility there. They're guys you just enjoy playing with, and I think Redskins fans have a lot to be excited about with those two for a long time.
With DeSean, if he's able to come back, what kind of different things can you do on first down when you have a threat like that on the field, and to help possibly open up the run game?
Yeah, DeSean, you can't take a shot every play. You can't, just send him deep all the time. I mean, you got to have some variety, and you got to have a threat of him doing a lot of different things. It's not just going to be down the field, but I think the key is to just give him opportunities and see if we can put the ball in his hands and give him opportunities to make plays. And and the key will be for me to make my reads honest, and not force the ball to him, not predetermine things, but read it out honestly. If the read tells me to go to him, go to him. But if not, progress and move on.
But does that give you the ability to be maybe a little bit more balanced on first down, what you want to call?
I think, anytime your best players are on the field, you have a great chance as a play caller, as a quarterback, to do some special things. And getting DeSean back gives us that opportunity. But, I still think we're going to have the same plays in our playbook, and it's just a matter of what we want to emphasize and when we want to call different things.
With Kirk, with his kind of speed over here, does it make it more difficult because he hasn't been playing to adjust to him in the heat of the game because he's so fast?
Yeah, great question. I don't know that it is too hard to adjust. I think it'll be able to get back at it quickly. We ran a route today that I felt like he had been out there for the last several weeks. It worked well, and he snapped it down and caught the ball well, and it was on rhythm. And I told him afterwards, it feels like you've been here all along. So I was encouraged by that. Certainly there's a level of building chemistry with receivers, and it takes time and that sort of a thing. But I think part of the reason is that he's been here now for over a year, and we've been able to work with him for a while, and what he can do and the juice he has, and it's pretty hard to overthrow him. So I'll put the ball out there for him and let him go get it.
Alfred's been the workhorse, the last 3 years, and this year things have changed a little bit with him splitting carries. I think, what have you noticed in his demeanor, his approach as he goes about business in kind of a new type of way during games?
Oh, he's been very consistent, and that's the mark of a great professional, is a guy who comes to work every day, doesn't go up or down. He's just consistent. When he's been very successful going to Pro Bowls, he's been the same guy. So no matter what's going on around him, he's going to work really, really hard and have a humble attitude and do whatever he's told to do. And that's why he's a guy you want in the huddle with you, and why he's a guy you can count on, and why he's so consistent is because he approaches the game and he approaches life that way.
When you talk about building chemistry with receivers, and Jay talked a little bit earlier about the depth on routes is something that's been an issue on occasion. Is that the kind of thing where you as a quarterback, if a guy's not running the route to the depth that it's taught, but he's running it consistently, where you can make an adjustment and kind of make him right in that scenario?
Yeah, I think it's a combination. It's an imperfect game, and so we talk about receivers got to take this many steps. He's got to be at this yard mark, and there is something to that. I think we have to be on the details, and it's very important to be a powerful offense. We've got to be on those and have to have attention made to them. But at the same time, it's an imperfect game, and you're going to have steps that are off. You're going to have times where things are not as you draw them up, and you've got to be able to react. So it's a balance. It's a little bit of both. It's we'd love to have your steps be there, but Kirk, if he's not there, let's make the adjustment and put the ball in a different spot. So that ability to react on the move, say, okay, it was drawn up to look like this, but now in the heat of battle it doesn't. That ability to react is something that I think comes with time, and something that I want to get better at and improve upon, to be able to improvise, if you will, off schedule and react to what I'm seeing off script. I think that's something I can improve upon.
Kirk, just 3 points off the 3 turnovers against Atlanta. I'm sure that's a point of emphasis moving forward. Once you get that ball off a turnover, you got to take advantage.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Especially when you're in the red zone, you want to finish those drives with touchdowns, and there are a lot of areas where we can improve, but that would certainly be one where we're looking at ourselves and saying, how can we be better?
We look from the press box, fans look from the stands. We see a pass that's either behind a receiver, too high, too low, and we say, okay, bad pass, inaccurate pass. Obviously, that's not always the case, but what kind of adjustments do you go through? Do you go through each off-target pass and say, okay, what do we need to do different next time on that?
Yeah, certainly. We're going to go back and look critically at ourselves and how we can, make sure that what was an incompletion in the future is a completion. I consider myself to be an accurate passer. If I miss, I go back and look at, okay, what did I do? Was it I overstrided? Did I expect him to be somewhere else? Was there something with protection that caused my mechanics to be off? Whatever it may be. And you got to go back and look at it and have the correct review. But then, to make the fix and move on and wipe it and say, okay, we're good. I'll make the throw next time. And, I think going forward, we'll be fine in that area. Thank you.